Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online. Welcome back to some EVE exploration. And I actually took up the advice that some of you guys gave me. I built myself a Jackdaw to see and to compare it a little bit to the Confessor that I have, the wartime Confessor. So here is my Jackdaw, and I just found a 4 out of 10. So that could be pretty challenging, but I think it could also be a good test to see if this Jackdaw is up to the task. Which I think it's less DPS than the cruisers that I'm using, but it's much more effective on the frigates. So let us take a look. And let's see what we can do with this baby. Now my range in sharpshooter mode is like 60 kilometers. So first of all, I am going to try to avoid some damage. I think like this with 1 rep and oops, and no need to overload, damn. With 1 repper and with the afterburner, I should be cap stable. And so first of all, we're going to snipe out some of these frigates. And here you can already tell the big advantage of this setup. We just one-shot all of these frigates. That is really awesome. The destroyers as well, so let's just keep targeting those guys. What I don't know is how we'll fare against the cruisers. Because we have less DPS than we do in the cruisers that I'm using. So let's give this a go. In the second room, I do think it will mean that I'll have to take out everything rather than go straight for the snipe. We could give it a try, then like switch to armor mode or something like that, and see if that works out. Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go along. It's a good test, I think, for this Jackdaw. Now I'm mostly clicking. That's just how I'm used to it. I think a lot of people will tell me to just press F2 or F1 depending on where you put the activation. But for me, it's mostly clicking. There we go. Let's take care of another frigate. All of them being one shot. That is something that even the Gila and the Caldari Tech 2 cruiser that I'm using don't do. So this is definitely pretty effective and pretty fast, I must say. So there's another one right there. Then we'll take you down like that. For now we are pulling away from most of them, I think, and so they haven't really challenged my tank at this point just yet. We're not going to risk that too much either, but I do think that we should start flattening out a little bit here as we take care of the final frigates. So that's pretty awesome. That is definitely, in my opinion, pretty good time so far. Let's see how we can handle this mutilator next though. I wonder how many missile launches we will need for that. So there goes the first one at 40 kilometers. That's his shields gone. 1000 damage. I'd say that's pretty decent. Half his armor gone, or even a little bit more than that. So let's see if we can get him into structure next. Yes. And then firing off the next one. That was 4, I think, 4 launches in order to get on that first one. So here, next one, that's the shields gone. And then it really depends on how much damage we can apply. Half the armor there again. We're again going to fly around a little bit. Try to get away from all of the beams so that we can minimize the damage that we take. And this one is going to take 5, I think, because of a little bit of repping. But it dies as well. So far, yeah, very nice, very nice. I also did a 3 out of 10 when I first built this one. And that is just insane, of course, because you only have all of those frigates, and it also applies massive damage on the boss rats that you want for the loot, for instance. It's like 4 volleys, I think, and those guys are taken out as well. So far this looks pretty nice. That it's handling this 4 out of 10. But it's handling the 3 out of 10, I would say, even more efficiently than something like, well, maybe not than the Gila, because the Gila has the drones and so does the Cerberus. That's the other one that I was thinking about. That is an extra source of DPS, of course, but you can't really complain about the one-shotting of the frigates that it's doing. So let's kill it. Let's grab the next one. Let's start approaching the acceleration gate. At this point, with just 4 of them to go, I think we'll get there. Will we have enough missiles? That's gonna be pretty close, I think, especially if they tank some of this stuff. like some active repping, will need an extra missile. But the launch rate is pretty fast, and the damage, yeah, the damage application is not bad at all. 1300 damage, and taking care of the rest of that structure right there, so that's pretty good. Let's see how the Slaughterer gets along. That's more than his shield's gone. That was like 1000 hit again. So of course, these are small missiles. But it's extremely more powerful because I'm in sharpshooter mode, right? 33% bonus to rocket and light missile damage. That is quite substantial, especially if you also have in the low slots 2 of these ballistic control systems, and then you also have a loading bay accelerator and a warhead qualification catalyst, giving me 255 DPS. Not bad at all for a destroyer, especially at like 60 kilometers. I think that that's pretty damn good. If you're wondering about the fit, by the way, I am going to try and change this up a little bit by putting these fits in my bio. So that way you can just click on my character, Mizuko, check out the bio, and there you'll find Mizuko's Jackdaw, which is the one that I'm using at the moment. And I'll try to add those as I use most ships, because at the moment some of the other ones, like for instance my Orca, that I was thinking about adding have some of these strange names, and I'm always going to call them Mizukos and then the ship type, so you can find them a bit more easily. But yeah, I think that's basically how I want to solve this, is by adding the ships in the bio. Full load. Look at the reloading time, by the way, really awesome as well, extremely fast. Your DPS is much more constant than with the rapid light missile launchers. As you can see, we take the gate and we get in on the second room. Let's see how we're gonna try to handle that. That is not going to be so easy. Let's maybe first try to snipe him out. Let's take a look at the True Sansha. I do expect that it'll take some time though, because that True Sansha is pretty tanky. So we are going to move away from the bulk of them, start attacking, and then just see if we can snipe him out. If it doesn't work out, then we'll just start taking out some of these frigates. So that's half his shields, that's not bad. Let's see how he dies. I still think they'll start approaching me, which is going to be a problem that I'll need to take care of these guys before I dive for the wreck. Let's see if we can figure this out. So that his armor, yeah, right, is going down decently well. I was sort of worried about this. There goes the repping though, because it even takes a long time on some of my better ships, exploration ships, like even the Gila with drones and full missile DPS. It can take a very long time to get through that True Sansha form. Because of this, look at his active repping, a quarter back again. But we are breaking him. And he's repping again though for the next volley. He's got a little bit of damage in structure. If we could get 2 good hits in, but there you go, repping again. He's trying to hold on. He's trying to hold on annoyingly well. There you go. That's a full hit, but another rep. So this is the disadvantage, of course. We're still talking about the destroyer. It's got lower DPS, and you will need a little bit more time to get through the True Sansha form. And same thing with like a Serpentis one, where you have to take care of like a station structure. It's going to take you a little bit of time, and you can see here he actually gets a rep in on every cycle, and I can't really overpower that all too effectively. So we have taken a little bit of damage here, but nothing to really worry about too much. I think it's also mostly gonna come from these frigates that are now obviously the closest to me. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to dive for this guy at 50 kilometers, and then we'll see if in the meantime we can snipe out all of these nearby frigates to lower any damage that comes in on me. And it looks pretty good. If we start taking more damage, I still have a second rep, which is going to use up my cap, but I think it'll work out. And I could of course also go into reinforced mode so that I have more resistances. It all looks pretty good so far, and all this one-shotting is really awesome. Just look at me taking enemy DPS off the field without too much trouble, and doing this so consistently. One shot, one frigate, blop, blop, blop. Awesome stuff in my opinion. Really very nice ship here so far. Now I'm taking a bit more damage. So am I still far away from that bloody wreck? Yeah, I'm actually going to have to dive right in there. So I'm actually going to go into reinforce mode. So this should increase my resistances by quite a bit. Then we're going to see how we handle... Yeah, we still one-shot those guys, even in this mode with the heavy shields, it seems. Let's see, yeah, that Slave Hunter still got one shot right there, pretty nice. Now my tanking has become way more stable, just a little bit of tanking, 31 HP every 2 seconds is basically keeping me in the game. And we'll just blab the rest of the frigates, grab the loot, 12 million, and then warp off as quickly as we can, as we take care of like some of the lost frigates here. So very, very successful test in my opinion. The range though is down to 36 kilometers, something to keep in mind, but look at that, they couldn't break me even when I was right in the middle of them, because I could just switch back to that defensive mode, getting 33% bonus to all shield resistances and 33% reduction in ship radius. So that is a very, very successful test, I would say, of the Jackdaw. Let's put ourselves back into sharpshooter mode. Yeah, the resistances from like 57, 54, the lowest ones 65 and 80, the standard ones, but my offensive like this is at 255 DPS, doing very, very well. So yes, thank you very much to whoever gave me that tip. To try out a Jackdaw instead of a Confessor. I feel like this is a beast of a Tech 3 destroyer, better, more powerful than the Confessor, more versatile as well, but especially just the sheer damage application that you're seeing on the frigates here is completely crazy. Handling a 4 out of 10 without any trouble. I'll keep the feed up here for the last part of the video, but again, if you're interested in this fit, check out the bio of Mizuko. You'll find Mizuko's Jackdaw there, and then you'll be able to find the fit itself as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time.